Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. If you want to catch latest Memes of the Week's videos, then subscribe to me over at MGTOWTV. Link is in the description. Plus you get content from people like Turd Flinging Monkey and Terrence Pop, just to name a few on the platform as well. Also, before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, Stoic Indifference. Fausto de Campo is the author of this book that teaches you basic mental discipline. They say that a mime is a terrible thing to waste, and so is your mind. Especially when you fall in love and put your mental well-being into the hands of a woman. Think for yourself, structure your thoughts, and improve your critical thinking skills. Pick up a copy on Kindle or paperback today. Sponsor link is down below. And now on with the memes. This week's first one is Jennifer Lawrence, and she admits that the film that she was in, she didn't really understand what it was all about, even though she was sleeping with the director in it. This is the female chameleon admitting that she's just projecting an image for her director boyfriend at the time, Darren Aronofsky. 5 years from now, she might be accusing him of graping her when her career is gone and she finally needs some more attention. Moving on, we have Jaromir Jagr when he was 43 being blackmailed by an 18-year-old model. She said that she would release a picture of him sleeping with her unless he paid her $2,000. This is the picture in particular. He said he didn't care and so she released it. How will his reputation ever recover after banging an 18-year-old model? Gee, I wonder. His career was already coming to an end, and if anything, this just makes him look like a Chad, and that he can still get laid with hot women at his age. Number 3, we have the next Captain America, agreeing with hoflation, that men have to work 5 times harder within their grandfathers for women that are 20 times worse than their grandmothers. This, of course, is destroying men's desire to be providers and protectors. Someone responding to this says this is not out of line, and he's absolutely right. Hence why we're seeing the rise of the MGTOW and Passport Bros phenomenon. Up next is the perfect illustration of women's out-of-this-world expectations. They all believe they deserve a 10, and the funniest joke for the 21st century is that all women think that they are 10 out of 10 themselves. Women's dating strategy might be summed up as this: only chats. The average girl is fine, but the plumposaurus at the bottom, I wouldn't touch with a rhino horn. Number 5, we have an article from the New Scientist, claiming that it's a myth that in old tribes, men would hunt while women would stay at home. Alison Boogie says this is the sound of the entire field of evolutionary psychology dying. We all know that most women will only go hunting if it's an area that's safe with air conditioning and snacks. Women like using the example of lions where the female ones hunt, but the male ones are lazy. Of course, the male one is there to protect the pride from predators and other male lions. Moving on is a meme showing you all how words are violence. A man doesn't want to fulfill his woman's fantasy of double vaginal, because he probably thinks it's gay, which it technically is. Her response will be to shame him and tell him that he's insecure and controlling. This is how you're considered verbally abusive as a man in 2023. Number 7, we have a man thinking that if you learn about intersexual dynamics and female nature, that it's somehow going to make you gay. Some girl agrees with him and says that she said many times that the end of the road for the road pill is homosexuality, and that red pill men do not like women. This is how they think it is. Either you're a blue-pilled simp, or you're gay, and there's nothing in between, it seems. Number 8, we have a record number of 40-year-olds in America never having been married before. 28% of them are males. Why would a man marry someone these days when the chances of losing half of everything is almost 50%? I guess many guys are taking part in the Great Resignation as well, and saying I'd rather have nothing instead of losing half of my net worth to a whammon. Moving on, if you wonder why many of the forest fires in Canada aren't being put out, then I give you Exhibit A, the female firefighting team from South Africa. One guy on Twitter says he thought that they were still trying to figure out why the Coke bottle fell from the sky. If you don't get that reference, it's from the film The Gods Must Be Crazy. Number 10 is a woman that let social media convince her to cheat on her boyfriend, because she thought he was a bum and not funding her TikTok luxury lifestyle. But he was saving money to adopt his nephews, and when he found out, he dumped her to the curb. Now she goes to where she belongs, the streets. Sounds to me like social media saved his life because it revealed her true selfish nature to him. Moving on, we see that a woman putting tacky tattoos on her body is like taking a Ferrari and turning it into trash with all kinds of decals for attention. The woman on the bottom right has a hairless cat tattoo that looks hideous. When she goes through menopause and her body gets hairy, that cat is finally going to have some hair on its face. As far as I'm concerned, one tattoo is too many. Number 12, we have Pearl Davis, saying that she doesn't think that women should be allowed to vote. Immediately, the leftoid media is calling her an anti-feminist female version of Andrew Tate. Looks like they might be going after her next. Is she too big to take down? Some people also think that she's controlled opposition. Amir, the guy who runs MGTOWTV, told me that her mother served on the board of a feminist UN organization, and her father does software for the government, with this company called DavisSoft. Can anyone confirm that? Either way, she's good for the manosphere. Up next, we have Pearl again, saying that women at the age of 25 are more attractive than women at the age of 35. That's true, as men tend to value fertility. When the 25-year-old woman turns 30, she's still good. But the 40-year-old woman will be foaming at the mouth with baby rabies if she still hasn't squeezed one out yet. It's just that the older women are jealous of Pearl's attention, and they're trolling her to get a piece of her clout. Number 14, I asked guys, would you? One guy says yes, absolutely, to hire her to clean his bathroom. But you better be careful because this might actually be a he instead of a she. Not to mention that she looks like jailbait on account of how skinny she looks and that flat chest. But it looks like she's in the driver's seat of a car, so odds are she's legal. I'd probably take her to Five Guys Burgers and Flies to feed her because she looks hungry and maybe strung out on something. She's not for the streets, but probably undead chronic sheets. Moving on is an illustration that is probably the dumbest comparison of all time. Women really don't want to lose weight these days and compare women losing weight to a big dog bitch turning into a little one. They aren't even the same species of dog here. The argument that you're beautiful at any size is probably being made by the sick care industry because they want more fatties with cancer and heart disease as customers. Number 16, we have Melanie Mack responding to Just Pearly Things, saying that when she turns 46 in 10 years, it's going to be legitimate. We aren't blind, lady. We know she looks better at 26. She needs to take the makeup off and show us what she really looks like. Also, that tat on her left shoulder should be a serious warning that she's still single. Someone should also tell her that the whites of her eyes will probably turn yellow in a few more years. Number 17, there's a story circulating there's a horrible snuff film with Hillary Clinton torturing and ending some little girl. It's probably a lie to smear her, and we'll never know because no one will risk sharing something like that because you'd probably meet an untimely death the way that many of the Clintons' friends do. Moving on, should I tell this mother that her daughter is a lesbian or should I not? The mother is wondering if her daughter getting this along with her best friend is because it's a devil symbol, or something like that. We all know that they're now scissor sisters. Also, what does the WAP hashtag stand for? White Anglo-Saxon Protestant, perhaps. But it's too late as her daughter has now been seduced by the devil herself. Number 19, if you're thinking of moving to Japan to meet the love of your life, you better be careful, because makeup should be banned. But it works. Even if you sleep with the bumpkin on the left, your mind will still think that she looks like the imaginary woman on the right the morning after. The person doing this makeup is an artist, and usually when I've worked with makeup artists this good, the look will typically melt in 30 minutes and completely fall apart. The illusion won't even last all that long. Up next are the alphabet people deciding that it's time to call straight men gynosexuals, which is almost as bad as calling them cis males. This is also coming from a men's health magazine. If you have a subscription, it might be time to cancel it on account of all the craziness. In my day and age, it was called being straight. I think we should start calling straight women femboys with vaginas, and see how much it pisses them off. On top of that, let's tell them they look just as good as Lizzo. Moving on, if you've ever wondered how close we are to World War III, then look no farther than this exhibit. Clearly America is going to lose if this is the norm. But still I hope that she's on the front lines to be strong and brave as she's sprayed by bullets. I know this is the type of individual that's going to complain about all that toxic masculinity in the army. Number 22, we have Danny from California, and she's complaining about how a man threatened to grape juice her in public, and 5 men just walked away while she was yelling for men to help her, but they all just left her alone. She even made eye contact with one of them and he kept on walking. This is what happens to women when they call men creeps that are trying to help them. Women made men into monsters and now they have to lay in their bed. Number 23, we have the new trend in London and other parts of the world where women are getting lip fillers, as well as chin work and nose jobs. Not to mention getting the fat sucked out of their cheeks and are starting to look like trans women for some other reason. Soon you won't be able to tell if they're real women or men in disguise from all those cosmetic surgeries. Up next is the state of Virginia requiring a verification for spicy content. So Cornhole Tube has decided to disable access to their site in Virginia. I predict that we're going to see the rise of VPNs, which are basically a form of age verification anyways, because you have to be 18 usually to pay for them with a credit card. But how is 16-year-old Jimmy supposed to use a VPN? Actually, there are free ones out there and you know that he's already working on it. Number 25 in this week's last one is another case of me asking guys, would you bang these babes? But it's a trick question, because they're AI generated if you look at Six-Fingered Sally. And looks like she's had her ring finger amputated, or she lost it in a freak bowling accident. And Fiona looks like she's had her toes fused together. Artificial intelligence has the faces figured out, just not the digits yet. Soon you won't be able to tell the difference. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Remember that I do these for free, so donate at the PayPal and Subscribestar links below for more content like this. Also, once again, check out MGTOWTV for content that you can't get anywhere else. You're definitely going to enjoy it. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.